Welcome to the Peaceful Life Podcast, coming to you from a cottage in the woods in the peaceful mountains of California. I was going to do my anniversary episode recapping everything that I had talked about throughout the year. However, life happens and something else came up. I tripped on my front steps and landed on my arm and broke it in several places. So, what is this supposed to teach me? I've had a lot of revelations in the past week living with one arm and working through this challenge. My first reaction was to curse myself. Why wasn't I more careful? Why wasn't I looking at my feet? Why didn't I put both hands down to absorb the shock? And I realized that I was making myself feel worse and worse. Berating was not helping me. The second thing I did was start to panic about the future. How was I going to work? Will I be able to make money this month? As you know, I work for myself and I get no time off, no paid time off, and no disability. I live by myself, and because I adopted the new kitten, I now have 4 animals. I thought, would I be able to care for them? Well, all that kind of thinking was also making me feel terrible. All of these negative thoughts ran through my head before I had even called 911. I was in such bad pain, I knew I had broken my arm, and I knew that my life had just changed. But then I took a breath, and I stopped myself, and this is the perfect example of being mindful and being present. I said to myself, what can I do now to help me? Take this 1 minute at a time. So I called and got an ambulance, and they splinted my arm. I had a friend pick up my dog, and I went to the ER. I figured it was better to go late at night than during the day, and I was right. I was the only one in the waiting room, believe it or not. I was actually in and out in about an hour, which if you know the ERs, you know that is quite unbelievable. Long story short, I did break my arm in several places and will have to have surgery early next week. I am living now with a hard cast and 1 arm. That panic about not being able to work, though, was pretty unfounded. I found that I could mouse perfectly with my left hand, and thanks to voice to text, I can create emails, do a podcast, and I've hired a student to help me with my local business. I found that I'm surprisingly ambidextrous. So living like this for the past week has taught me many things already. First, as I said, there is no reason to dwell over the past or worry about the future. I can't control either one of those. The easiest way for me to get through this is to stay in the present and take care of myself task by task, moment by moment, and day by day. Second, and this is a difficult thing for me to do, I needed to ask for help. I'm a type A personality and I like doing things by myself and for myself. And it's very difficult for me to delegate. I also feel like I'm kind of imposing when I ask for help. But as you know, we live in a small and tight community here, and I have a lot of friends in the mountains. Many people have stepped up and offered to help, and my first reaction is to say, no, I can do it. Believe it or not, I actually drove myself to the ER after the paramedics left, and that was an hour away. That's how crazy I can get sometimes. And so I need to learn to accept help and even ask for it. A couple of other things I've learned are to slow down, be more deliberate, and to appreciate the abilities that I do have. Miraculously, I can still get around, I can work, And through technology, I can communicate and write and order things online and get them delivered the next day. And when you have a sister who is literally fighting for her life, a broken arm just doesn't seem so significant in the scheme of things. Now, funny enough, this whole shebang leads me right into the next season of the Peaceful Life podcast. Before the fall, I had already decided that for the second season, I was going to concentrate on the subject of healing ourselves and others, about the mind working with the body and enabling your own power to heal. Chronic pain, skin conditions, emotional illness, physical illness, and even weight control. I've been studying a lot about this, and I now have an immediate reason to put it into production and experiment on myself. In the past week, I've been doing an immense amount of self-healing visualization, meditation, and energy work. So I can't believe that it's been a whole year since I've begun this show. I started the Peaceful Life podcast because I created these strategies to bring peace into my own life, and I wanted to share them with others. I figured if 10, 20, or 50 people listen, I would be extremely over the moon. This podcast has now received over 10,000 downloads, and that just blows me away. I am so grateful to each and every one of you who takes the time to listen to my show. Each of you is a spark of light in this world, and I mean all over the world, to help create peace in your hearts and peace in your family, and therefore in your community and in the world. It just takes one seed, and then it propagates. Just look at the growth of this little podcast that could. And I wanted to do a shout out to my podcasters group on Facebook, which has greatly contributed to this show being a success. The Cut the Bullshit podcasting group, that's what it's called, is such a giving and loving group of people who just want to help each other get their voices out and heard into this world. CTBS, as we call it, is run by a podcast supporter named Jeremy Enns, who keeps us engaged and informed about the industry. And several of the other podcasters from our group have actually appeared on my show, including Michael Howie from Defender Radio on episode 31, Sharing Our World with Animals. Raven Xavier from the RaveX Show was in episode 45, Peace in the Police Part 1. And Christopher Grunland from the podcast Not About Lumberjacks. In fact, Christopher's conversation with me about making peace with your bullied inner child, that's episode 41, is my top most popular interview show in terms of downloads. My top solo show is the relaxation episode called Go to Sleep. It's episode number 4. And that's the first episode I actually recorded for the show. It just goes to show you how much people need to quiet their mind and their soul and just need a little bit more help in the sleep department. I also have an episode called Go to Sleep for Kids, number 14. Check them out if you need them. I think my all-time favorite episode of this season is number 19, Living a Magical Life. Just by the fact that I can record this and edit this and still get it out to you in the state of my being tells you that there is magic in this world. In the next couple of weeks while I'm on hiatus, please take a moment to review the show index on my site and listen to some of the episodes that you might have missed. Go to thepeaceful.life and click Show Index in the menu. I want to thank you. Yes, you, spectacular you, for sharing your time and your attention with me. The best holiday present you could give me is to tell somebody else about this show and keep it growing so we can spread the peace and the joy. Have a wonderful holiday season, a happy new year, and don't forget to tune back in and join me for season 2. I love, love, love you all. I hope you feel it.